Mark Martin at markjmartin.com, and thank you for joining us today at the Church Music Ministry Talks. And today we're privileged to have Zach Young, music pastor at First Baptist Church of Jackson, Tennessee, and he's with us today to talk about leading congregational worship in multiple generations. And so we're looking forward to talking about that today. First of all, Zach, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background in church music?
Well, I've been in full-time music ministry since 2008, and before that I was bivocational music minister while I was in seminary for apologize about that, for
It's okay.
a couple of years. I went to Bob Jones and have a church music degree from there. Organ was my main instrument, and I then went to Southern Seminary and graduated from there in 2008, and have served in Middle Tennessee for 6 years, and we just moved out here in February of this year, and have been here now for 6 months, and everything is going really well after a long winter and sickness and all that. We're finally getting acclimated, and it's been really good.
So you're in a transition time in your life where you're getting
Yes.
a new ministry.
Yes.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about the ministry there at First Baptist in Jackson.
This is a 177-year-old church. It is Southern Baptist. It is an unusual Southern Baptist congregation in that it is largely a hymn singing church that has not really gone into CCM much at all. The senior pastor and all of us on staff are young. He is 35. And our youngest staff minister is the youth minister, and he's in his late 20s. And so the congregation has a lot of young families our age, and a lot of older people. We don't have a lot of the middle, sort of the baby boomer age group, and so we're sort of a bipolar church in that, and so it's interesting having just a huge amount of younger folks who enthusiastically sing hymns, and it's unique in that I think we are the only Southern Baptist church in town that is not what you would call either blended or completely modern in our worship music. And so that has sort of set us in a unique niche, if you will, and it's helping us to be intergenerational in our worship.
So something you brought up there, I think, is a good segue, so to speak, into our subject today. And again, we're talking about leading multiple generations in congregational worship. And what we mean by that is leading the elderly people in your church, the children in your church, and everybody in between in worshiping God and doing it together as a corporate body, not in different fragments or in different ways, although there is a place for the different age groups in the church and the different worship times for them. But something that I think that you said that's very interesting as we get started with the subject is many times we as music pastors fall into the trap of thinking that the younger generation will only be interested if the music is new, if it's not the old hymns, or the only way to reach that generation is to bring in new music. And again, I'm not against new music. We use a lot of newer hymns in our ministry. But speak to that a little bit. Do you think it is necessary, and I think the answer is obvious, but do you think it's necessary to have different styles in order to help different generations worship God? If yes, why? Or if not, why do you think that's the case?
I think stylistic diversity is helpful as long as it is all singable music. So, for instance, in most hymn books, you will find hymn tunes written in the 1600s all the way up into gospel hymnody, which sounds altogether different than a 1600s hymn tune. And so I think style has to be subject to singability. If everyone is able to join in and sing, whether it was written in the 80s or yesterday or in the 1800s, I think you will find that you will hear less of the sort of the arguing over musical style. People want to be able to sing, and we sing hymns, from Martin Luther all the way up to some of the modern like Sovereign Grace hymns, and I think that our main style would be called a congregational style.
And do you feel like that congregational style that you're referring to spans many ages, so to speak?
Absolutely.
In
yes.
Music.
Absolutely.
That's a great perspective on it.